Thank you, Surbi. Again, everyone, welcome to the GradAchiever podcast. We would like to quickly mention about GradAchiever because it's a platform that we have deliberately created to help the high school students and parents navigate through the journey of getting the children up for their dream colleges because the entire process is broken right now. There is not a single platform that gives all the resources. You would have to follow tons of Facebook groups, Instagram influencers, and so on. So the idea here was for us, some of us was because we went through the journey with our high schoolers and we had to struggle. We decided, and then given our IT background, we decided to spin up a platform. It's again free for everybody, be it a resource provider or a resource seeker. It's a pre-platform and gives a lot of resources. As part of that journey, we also vet out a lot of good intention people there who want to help the high school students and the parents and vet them and bring them on for these webinars to help educate everybody around and help share the resources. We'll be demoing this particular platform during the middle of the session. Without further ado, we'd like to kick off this webinar. Today we have Ankit Pava. He's also a founder of ThinkPythonAI platform. And Ankit has a very heavy and deep overall experience in the field of information technology, starting his career as an engineer, architect, and now he works for some of the big global companies. And he had an idea of creating this platform again to help middle schoolers and high schoolers sort of get inclined and study the most relevant language out there, that's Python. That was his driver. So without me not had taking time to introduce him, I would like to hand it over to Ankit so that he gives his own introduction. To start with, Ankit, over to you.
Thank you, Kavita. Can somebody confirm I'm audible?
Yep.
Perfect. So thank you once again, Kavita and Surbi ma'am. And good morning, good evening, everyone. And again, thank you for the Grand Achiever community because I think this is really great what you guys are doing. And thank you for the opportunity for me to speak today. Before we begin, please excuse my appearance. I was outside shoveling snow, some perks of living in Boston. So, Kavita was kind enough to introduce me. So, just a very little bit more introduction about me. I'm a senior automation architect right now, and I have 22 plus years of experience. I am in the Boston side in the East Coast, and I also teach Python and AI in a school near my area. And recently, we're discussing more stuff with RSM and stuff like that. But I also do multiple batches on the ThinkPython AI platform for kids of every age, actually. Interesting question that was asked was, what made you start this? Because I was in a good job, and I just thought there's something that people are still missing, and that is something which has given me the edge to get into this. And the real driver was my 7-year-old son. So he used to keep coming to me and my wife and always asking, "Can you play games with me?" Because we believe in a less screen time kind of an thing. So he was always constantly playing a game, which is like I'm sure every kid loves it in the childhood, the guessing number challenge. So that was my first motivation, and I kept getting boggled with him. And I thought, okay, let me create a program for him, which will basically do the same thing. And he just loved it. So without getting hooked to the screen, if you can, give kids an idea and make something for them at that age, which they love, that kind of gave me the inspiration to move beyond and do something like this. And now we have multiple batches for kids as well as we teach to professionals as well. And that is where I get the real kick for me, you can say, because teaching in technology, working in technology is one of my passions since a long time. So that is where it all started with almost a year and a half back. So
Thank you.
that's in a nutshell.
Thank you. Super helpful. I was going
Sure.
to ask you what was the driver, so you already addressed
Right.
it. We truly appreciate that you made time
Sure.
to educate our audience here. So, without further taking much time, I would like to kick off the session on to you, Ankit. Let us see
Sure.
what you got in mind to help enlighten us here. Thank you.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you. So I have two demos planned, and I know we'll have a small break in between, so I'll keep I'll try to keep the theory as short as possible, but I do have to run a few slides so we can understand where is the gaps, where are the gaps that we can fill, and as parents, what we can do, because that I think is also one of the most important challenges nowadays, right? Especially with technologies. And speaking of technology, I mean, it's it's so interesting to see what is happening around us. Like when we were growing up, and especially when I was growing up, if we didn't understand something, our first resolution was either asking your parents or friends or going to libraries. But of course, that is vanishing now, and I'm pretty sure every parent has this concern that today's students have a much faster way where they just go and ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT has become one of their best friends. And the interesting question now is that whether students really use AI or they really know how to build actually something with AI. And that is actually the differentiator, especially for our high schoolers. And that helps them turn into stronger candidates for college and universities. So that is something that's the highlight for today. And I'm trying to showcase that value add and that kind of a thing that we do. And I thoroughly believe that is something going forward, the universities and college admissions are going to put a lot of emphasis on. So, and I'll try to skim those first because I want to spend a little more time on the demos, because the demos actually came from the problem statement that was shared to me by my real students at the school. And a lot of it happened with them. And once they saw what we've created and more of that they created, they were really hooked to it and they really liked it. And that is the kind of thing I want to incur in every student, especially high schoolers, that they should think about using the AI to build systems and not just blindly follow prompt engineering, as they say, right? It's more of a marketing term, but it is so much into us. I mean, we as parents and as non-software engineers as well, I'm sure we use GPT all the time for everything, even for preparing our itineraries and finding the local coffee shops and the reviews and whatnot. So people are using it based on their use case. But our students who are aspiring for STEM technologies and coding colleges, that is where it makes a lot of difference for them to understand that coding on the application is now almost like math, which was maybe 10 years ago. And but beyond coding is what they have to see. And that's why I talk always about AI becoming a new literacy. So AI is no longer a tool that everybody use, but it's more like a um, like an AP subject, I would say. But the students who really stand out are the one who actually use GPT to generate the help to make something better. Using GPT could be an idea, could be one of the ideas. So this is where it summarizes that we are all AI consumers, but admission committee in schools and colleges don't look for consumers. They know we are available for. I mean, there are tools available for that, but what they look for is AI builders. So, being in Boston, that's also one of the advantages. Whenever I get the chance, I go to the tech pubs, meetups, and I talk to a lot of people who are in universities. I interview as part of my job as well to a lot of people who are fresh out of college. So it kind of gives me that idea as well where things are moving. And like I said, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm going to be saying this many times. AI users versus AI builders, or versus somebody who's building a system that uses AI, is is the way forward, clearly, in the near future. So this is just in a nutshell. Again, just they don't want somebody to follow curriculums, and or just a particular depth in one side of the world, and somebody who's very good with problem solving with GPT. They don't want somebody like that, but they want somebody who shows the building quality that they can build something. And of course, the most important point which people miss, and I cannot stress this enough. Me personally, I love Python. That's why I named the company also ThinkPythonAI. And we train our students to think beyond what others would do in their situation. And that kind of helps them build systems. Again, our emphasis is always on building. It's not on copy pasting the code, because, and there is no need. I get this asked all the time. Why do I have to teach my son or my kid any coding classes? That is to some extent true, but again, understanding Python from a coder perspective is also very important. And again, every coding perspective is different when we start from what age. For example, when I teach grade 4 students, they are more on the gaming side. Like I was giving my son's example, he loves to make games. Of course, he doesn't understand a word about Python, but at least he's getting used to what coding and what Python is. And Python being the best, I should say, the most widely used language, it is the obvious choice for anything that you want to do with AI. And that's where Python fits in the pictures. So, of course, universities do teach AI using Python. That's another reason for it. And as I'm sure everybody knows, it powers data science and automation. So, in fact, I was taking class on one of the school time, and there's this kid who actually prompted me to um, build the second demo that I'm going to show you today. He was one of those inquisitive minds. We all know there are some super inquisitive minds, and there are some calm students. Both are good, but I have to deal with everybody. So he goes and he says, "Oh, I've heard Python so many times. Where is it actually used? Can you tell us something?" And he was surprised when I said even NASA uses it, even Tesla, because his father had a Tesla, and I knew that because he's one of known friends' kid. So I told him even Tesla uses a bit of Python, and that's where the whole curiosity level went to another level. And he was like, "Can I do something similar to that? Can I build something in on those lines?" And that is the kind of thinking we want to invoke in the students, and that helps them build their sound foundation at a very early age. So this guy was in ninth grade, actually, not even a 11th or a 12th grader. And then I started working with him on a very simple project, which is if, let's say, the Tesla is mostly known for the automatic driving, right? The driverless driving thing, but you still have to be present on the seat. So I told him that's what you can actually do with Python and AI. And we finally built a project, which is what I'm going to show you in the next demo, the second demo, where we are making a very minuscule version of the same thing, where the camera of your laptop or your iPhone can actually detect you as a driver. And if you, let's say, drowse or if you close your eyes, it is going to give you an alert kind of a thing. And that was an immediate hit, and that clicked with the whole class later on. So things like that are actually being very superbly rewarded by the universities, because then universities see that the students are actually building something, maybe something which is already, it's not always about the complication, or it's always about the uh, current problems on hand that you're solving, but sometimes showing initiative like that and solving those problems all by yourself, where GPT helps a lot, of course, because you get the code from there, is the kind of application building that the universities are looking for these days. And this is just a simple slide on that aspect, because we use a lot of data structures in that. And that's where I say just understanding basics of coding is still needed. It's again just like 30, 40 years ago when first calculator came. People were like, "Oh, it's going to kill the math. It's going to do that. It's going to do this." And now we don't need math classes in school. But that never happened. And it's never going to happen. It just makes your life more easier, and that is, in my opinion and my experience, because I use AI at work, I use for my own self, everyday jobs, so many things where we use Python and AI. But I think the augmentation of these tools to make our life much easier, both professionally and personally, is where the gap really lies. And that is what we try to build during these webinars and sessions like this. So this is one of the demos that I have right now, which was basically suggested by a parent who was very worried. What are their kids going to do? Because they were not looking at anything that was taught in the class. They were always going to finish their homework with GPT. And they were like, "Oh, even if my son is, or she had a son, if he's going to even learn anything about it or not." And I'm worried by the time he gets into the actual college scholarship time, what is he going to use? What is he going to learn? And what is he going to prove there? SATs alone is not enough, right? So I'll give a simple story here, which is sort of based on what I've seen at my school with other kids. So there are generally two kinds of kids. One is who would like to follow the structured approach, and he'll do everything. If I tell him learn coding, he will learn coding. And the other one is the challenging type. So why do I need to learn coding? I can always use GPT. I don't really need to learn it. And when you show both these things to both the kids, they both understand the value in it. And then finally, they use the blended version of it, where you need to understand um, coding, because GPT is only a prompt engine. And by GPT, I mean all LLMs. It's not just GPT. But what we give them with the clarity and the exact structure, that is the main driver behind it. And then again, it falls partially on the prompt engineering, but more than that, how you can use the output for your benefit. That is something that really generates help in this case. So, for example, this was a simple application, which was Python, using Python and AI, of course, in the backend, using GPT in the backend, where the student developed a small web-based application. You can obviously take it to an iPhone or anywhere. It's just a small app. But first, it started with a small program where you would do it in a text file or in a Excel sheet. And all it did was it was shared with his other students, other friends. They will just come and say something that they want about writing an essay, because writing an essay is a very important thing, or a very important step for universities, applying for universities. And then maybe something like, based on that, the AI analyzes where this person probably is, and it gives a much, much better structured response than what you would if you give the same prompt to a chat GPT. So this whole enhancement and this whole building of the tool using AI as the engine, and of course using Python to do it, is the main deal. And that's what he did along with my help, and the whole class actually did. So I'm just going to take you to that small demo. Again, it's two very different applications. One is this, and then again, um, like I said, we don't want to teach students how to give the prompts, but we want to teach how to build the AI system, and that's what you're going to see towards that. Before I go to the demo, does anybody have a question so far? Anything about the college applications or what I mentioned?
Yeah, I think in the meanwhile, if you don't have questions, keep dropping them in the chat. We'll
Oh
get to
yes,
them.
let me open the chat too.
I'm
Thanks, Kavita.
nothing there yet. So I think once
Okay,
you show the demo, I'm sure there'll be plenty
sure.
coming.
Sure. Yeah, I'll just open the chat as well. I'm sorry, I have a
I'll
multi-screen
prompt you.
setup here.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll prompt you.
Yeah.
Let's see the
They
demo.
say, right, you don't understand the technology until you get your hands messy. So my whole setup right now is very messy. And but that's how even I had to learn the hard way. All right, so this is that exact program that we did along with the students of class 8th, actually. And the whole, let me actually run it and then I'll explain it. So right now it's on my laptop, because I don't have it on a website, but again, the students would do it on an actual AWS instance where it becomes a public website. And I show them just the way I do it for my website, which is this. You can go through it later. But the only difference would be this would be an actual URL there. So this is a very small screen because, like I said, and a very non-flashy kind of a thing. It's more for students who are very serious and want to do the real deal. So let's say they make this, and then this is coming directly from one of the guys in the class, and all he wants to do is, I'm interested in computer science. I like AI very much. This is the kind of language also that they use, and they say I did a project in Python. This basically is what he's referring to, what we did in the class, and I want to apply to good university and get scholarship. So this is a very, very rough prompt, I would say. And if you see, if you go ahead and put this prompt to ChatGPT, it will give you a completely different answer, or maybe a very different answer, not completely different, which is not very relevant. And that is what I'm trying to demo here, that when kids understand the technology behind it, how to use it, they can make it much better, much more relevant. So now all we do is improve with AI, and this is where the backend, it's going to open a connection with the GPT and going to, there you go, give you the output. So I'm just gonna give a small pause. I can't. I mean, it's going to take a lot of time if you want to read the whole thing, but essentially, if you look at it, this is all what is being tailor-made by the person using Python everywhere. That, okay, we want an answer from the GPT. We won't want the extra fluff that GPT. I'm sure everybody knows that if you ask simple question, it gives you so many things to talk about, and sometimes people gets bored with that and they never ever able to get to the real deal. But here the whole idea was trying to understand, breaking these things in tokens, which is more of a GPT thing, and kids of high school age do understand a bit of this, and that's what we teach as well, that they understand how to tokenize it, how to break it, and how to make more sense out of it, which is where the probabilistic approach that we teach in the class really helps a lot to them. So that based on that, looking at it, and of course training this model along with the other students, this is giving you such a different result if you look at and compare it with the GPT right now. And it also gives us, these are the keywords that we should use if you have interest in AI, especially Python, and you should learn problem solving. Of course, it gives you a basic idea about how to build the resume. You have to do something like this. The only reason this one gave a Python-based AI project, because he said here I did a project in Python. If he says to C++, it'll give you something like that. So the benefit of creating this is multifold, and this is something universities really like and enjoy to see in a person's um, resume, or sorry, SOP. So they want to make sure that you're building something. So this person actually took the AI, used it. There is GPT completely involved in this under the wraps, but made the application more beneficial so that anybody comes here in his class, puts this or whatever he wants to do for resume building or for your scholarship essay building, and make it much more tailored along with some this is where we teach a little bit more about LLM, along with a quick score. Like, if you do this, or what you have written is basically of a clarity score of 7 out of 10. You're not very specific, as you can see, because he was very vague in writing this. So this not only gives him an improved version right away, but also tells him a lot more about where he's lacking, where he can improve, and some suggestions, as you can see. So, of course, create a more complex algorithm or coding project involving AI concepts like machine learning or data analysis. So it becomes very tailor-made to one of his friends or the other friends, whoever can use it, and he actually uses this in his application in the GitHub. We teach all of that to get into GitHub and make the portfolios and profiles there, so that he can use this for the better benefit of the other people, other students as well. And if you, even there's a tip there that, for clarity, expand on what you want to do, what you've done in the project in Python, like you say, right? You can see he just said, I did a project in Python. So these things do not land well in a scholarship essay if you're planning to, if the student was planning to write a scholarship essay by himself. So this tool really helps him tell the next steps, like what you can do, expand on that project, because that is going to really give you the edge. That is going to really tell you or make your application shine out. And again, the whole problem solving skill is what this tool, this specific tool made by him, is basically telling him. Now, without going too much into that detail, what I want to talk about more is this student used this tool, first made it into a small Excel sheet, then went from there to a text file, and then finally he created it in the app. So this is a Flask framework in Python, which he's using. But under the wraps, if I show you the whole code, it's basically just doing nothing but calling, well, not nothing, and doing a lot more than that. But he's giving the context and not just the prompt, which makes it much better for him to get a response back from the GPT. So under the wraps, it's still GPT, under the wraps, it's still LLM, but how to make use of those AI tools to build something which is for the greater good for the community or for their friends is what specifically universities are looking for these days. And that's why I chose this as a demo today, because this was really an idea by one of the parents themselves, and the student, I mean, the kid actually followed on through it, and he really made this into such a big, nice, better way. And now he's on the way to create and move this into an iPhone and a Android worthy app. This is where again you use GPT to help you build it, but the thinking, the kind of prompts that you have to give, the kind of work that you have to do, what you're supposed to make out of and modify on top of it. That is what they learned using the programs like these. So this is where I think we need in general for our students and our kids to go towards, so that they make AI as their friend rather than just a prompt GPT tool. If I run this again, I'm sure it is going to give us something different, because it's using AI in the backend. It takes a little while because it runs the prompt, it runs the query, and I'm using the lowest version because otherwise I'll spend a lot of money. That also, by the way, was a research he did. I did not do it. So he told me, Ankit, we should use this because it's not relevantly very fast. I'm sure all of you know the latest version is 5.2. At the time when we were building this, it was 4.6. He said, but if I use the 4.1 version, I won't spend so much money on the tokens, and probably this whole thing only takes like $2.50 for 600,000 tokens or something like that. He did a very good job on that front, which is not very expensive at all. So again, just to summarize, basically solving a very big problem with very small amount of money, and using his Python and AI intelligence and thinking what is right for them. Open for questions, or if there's anything that I can answer right now.
Thanks, Ankit.
Sure.
Great demo. So far, we don't have any questions yet. But
Oh,
again,
yeah, I was
this is quite informational, right? In the current age, what is relevant for kids to be dabbling with?
exactly.
I think it ties two things here. One is learning a programming language, because that mindset of problem solving needs to be acquired no matter, even if these newer AI tools can generate codes, because at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
a person will be ensuring that that code gets into production, right? So
Exactly.
learning is
That's right.
important among so many choices. Why Python makes an important one to choose and get the kids acclimated. It's quite nice to hear, along with the demo you shared from your very own student, who not only just built it but also did a research on the tokens and what's the best
Yes.
to use case, return on investment on the time. This is impressive in terms of how you are able to help students and give that one-on-one attention beyond just teaching them a Python itself. Fully appreciate it.
Exactly.
And if you don't mind, we will take a quick two, three
Sure.
minutes break from this session,
Yep.
because
Sure.
we see a lot of new parents and students with us today, and we would like to take an opportunity to walk them through what our GradAchiever platform is.
Sure.
But again, this is a free platform. This is created to help and build a community, everyone. So just pay attention for a few minutes. Surabhi is going to demo the platform itself in terms of what it offers and what how you guys can leverage it and build a community. While taking the resources, you could also be building the community and helping each other. On to you, Surbi, for a quick demo of our GradAchiever platform. Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. This is the GradAchiever platform which we have built it. Here we have different sections. After you register it, you will be able to see this. Then I'm just going from the left to right. Once first is like we have the event section. So where we keep posting about the events which is relevant for the middle and high school kids. And then it's not just we are posting it, you yourself can go, and if you know about any event you can go and create an event yourself. And then we have the groups where you can actually join any existing group, or you can create your own group as well. If you are like kind of trying to get in touch, or trying to build a community, or trying to build a group, like you would like to do something, then you can go ahead and make a group and have a conversation and everything at one place. Then we have the members section. And members section, there are like all the grad achiever community members are there, which are registered on the website. And you can actually connect with anybody. If you would like to in fact search Ankit, you can just type in Ankit, and I'm sure, yeah, it will pop up there. And then we have the opportunities section. Here is like we keep posting about the internship, scholarships, summer programs, and volunteering opportunities for the middle and high schooler kids. And we keep posting approximately like almost like every day we post some or the other things. So it is very difficult to find the opportunities if you have to literally search the web and all that. But here we scrutinize it, filter it, and see it, okay, what is relevant for the our middle and high school kids. And then we have the resources section. This is like the UC GPA calculator. This is for the University of California. How do they calculate the GPAs? And if you put in your number, it is actually going to tell you what will be the your GPA. And there are some frequently asked questions in that. Apart from that, then we have the podcast section, where all the podcasts whatever we have done it till now has all the recordings listed here. And today's podcast, this is also getting recorded, will also be uploaded here. Next, we have high school course selections. So this is a section where if suppose you already know which major you would like to do it, then how should you really see which courses you should take it, how should I take which courses you should take it in freshman, sophomore, junior and senior year. Basically, how should you plan your high school courses, then you can actually kind of select it. Suppose I would like to become a journalist, then in freshman what subjects, sophomore what subjects, junior and senior, like those. It will give you a rough idea, and then you need to definitely see it what your school offers and what else modification is required. Then we have the counselors and tutors section. There, if you're looking for any tutors or counselors, you can actually go here and check it out, and then reach out to them. And then if you like somebody, you can just like, it is between the student and the counselors, how you would like to deal with that part. Then we have the blogs part. Here the blogs is basically, if you would like to write about a topic, you can actually do it. Yeah, so these are the blogs mostly written by GradAchiever, but there are some blogs which are in fact written by others users as well. So you can actually go to the your user profile, and there is a section called as blogs, where here you can actually go ahead and create your own blog. Then we have the my plan section, where earlier I was showing it to you. If suppose like which major you would like to take it, what should be the general courses you should take it. But if you would like to plan your own, then you will go here. Suppose this is for freshmen, you will say what you are actually taking it, what additional you are doing. It's like a kind of a planning thing, which we have done it for all 4 years, even by semester wise as well. Then there is an interesting feature what we have, it is career quiz. Suppose the student doesn't even know what his or her interest is, and would like to really know what, based on the interest, what kind of career will suit him or her better. Then this is a quiz. You take that quiz, it will actually give you an idea based on the options what the user is selecting, which stream of the career, like there are so many careers are there, but which will suit the better based on what is the student liking and dislikings are. So this is a platform. We have the social media presence as well. Please follow us. We have WhatsApp group, I have shared already, YouTube channel, LinkedIn page, Facebook, and Instagram. Please follow us and join the WhatsApp group as well. That is pretty much. Please make use of this platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Surbi. Again, audience, this was, I'm sure, an information overload because this platform itself, again free, provides a lot of resources in there required for both high school students and parents. So please log in, create your credentials, and I would say leverage and take advantage of all the resources, and also help us build this community where we all can truly make a difference in shaping our upcoming high schoolers who are dreaming about their college education. With that said, back to you, Ankit, to take on and continue with your presentation.
Thank you, Kavita. And I just want to stress one thing, what Surbi ma'am was showing, and I say her ma'am with affection because she was my senior in my engineering college long back. I won't tell how many years back, otherwise Surbi ma'am is going to kill me that I'm giving her the age. But this is what she used to do in this college as well, and she has that helping nature, helping hand. And that's where I really appreciate the kind of thing you guys are doing, especially free for the community. And I mean, I get these same questions asked so many times that, Ankit, do you know any place where we can go and talk to people who will tell us more about school admissions, and especially Desi community, Indian community? We all are not very used to the process. Some of us are, yes, but not all of us. So I think this is a great platform, and I think you guys are doing a great job.
Thanks, Ankit. And there is a WhatsApp community link you guys can join and always message me or Surbi. We'll try to help you guys.
Yep. So just to summarize the last demo, this was, I hope my screen is shared, right? Yes. This was what really the whole idea behind that was. It looked like a script, but it is more of a Python Flask web app that was created, of course, using AI tool interfaces, and finally publishing it as a portfolio project so that the students can use it. Now, what this kind of projects tell the universities, right? That the student took the initiative, like Kavita was also hinting the same part. The initiative goes beyond what a teacher teaches in the class. It's more on the student, that how he uses. And that's where I keep saying I named the company because of that. We make them think beyond. And Python is, of course, the most easy language to learn for somebody who's not from a coding background as well. So it shows a lot of technical initiative that the person took. He solved a real problem, which is a very valid problem around him, where he sees continuously people struggling. The whole idea was not to make a complex or a very complicated looking solution, which not always works with the universities. And the whole idea was something to build which is simple and easy to use, also uses AI so that that showcases future engineering capabilities and STEM capabilities. Of course, the responsible AI usage, I cannot highlight this enough. So when I first it was also a funny story. I was asked to get into this school where I taught, and they said the biggest challenge that they have is the same thing that parents have also said time and again. Kids don't know where to understand AI is actually useful for them, or is it really a boon or a problem for them. So there's a book by Corwin. He has written a very wonderful book. I urge every parent to, it's on Amazon, to go and read that if you want to be a very informed parent, which basically talks about the ethical and responsible usage of AI. Because if that's not done right, especially at the high school age students, then it becomes a very big challenge for them. Because end of the day, even if you ask a simple thing, they'll be like, okay, hold on, let me open my GPT for that. And that's not what we want the kids to become eventually. So the responsible AI usage is the most important thing. And when we started doing this in the one school that I go for, the other schools in the area have also started really liking that, and they are partnering up with those and trying to teach that as an elective subject all by itself, like how we can introduce the AI, because it's inevitable. I mean, some people are still of the mindset, oh, I'm not going to use AI, I'm not going to use or rely on these tools, but it's inevitable. It's a part of our life now. It's rather better to embrace them nicely rather than cursing them or turning away. Like I just showed in the last demo, and especially the next demo, kids or even coders, even people who have a lot of coding knowledge, some of you might be one of those as well, and you can concur with me. Making such a thing is not an easy job, and especially if it keeps on running at such a low cost price. So that is the kind of initiative that helps the students not only get into good universities, but also showcases that they have the potential to make something really big. And once given the right set of AI literacy, they can make something really, really big. So the next one, like I said, is more on the self driving learning thing that I came up with that. Oh yes, this is also a little important before I go to that. So I have this, and I cannot stress this enough. I always talk to parents and I tell them the same thing. If you're evaluating any AI program or a coding program for your kid, don't just go by the flashy words. Don't just look at, oh, your kid will be building an application in 1 week, in 2 weeks. That you can ask your kid to do it right now with the chat GPT. The whole idea while evaluating a program for your kid isn't, and I'm not trying to sell here anything, I'm just trying to give you the honest fact from a parent to a parent, that I always encourage people, parents, to ask this question: does this program really teach my child how to build AI tools? Or does it teach how to use ChatGPT? Because if the answer is second, they already know it. Believe it or not, even though we might think they're not using it, and I see it every day, even grade fivers are using it. I have a batch for grade 5 to 7. Which are together, and I ask them to work on a assignment, and then they give me back, and I know it's ChatGPT because I haven't even taught them that thing. So even though we won't believe this, but the end of the at the end, we want to make sure that they're learning something rather than simply using a tool. It's just like, I remember this thing when I was in my time and I was getting bigger and I wanted a computer, which was the big PC we used to have. And I was asking my dad to get me one. It used to be very expensive then, and he was like, "No, I'm not gonna get you because I know you're gonna do is just play games on those, because those were times when you could only play games on those. There was no PS5, nothing." And he was right. So we don't want to get into that trap. Rather, somebody who actually uses the, instead of the laptop now, the things have become like AI platforms or LLMs, to use them for their benefit, and in process of doing that, why not benefit something and showcase that portfolio building skills for real college university admissions as well. So that is something we need to ask ourselves before even we go ahead and evaluate anybody. And if you're a parent who likes to get hands on, definitely you could do a lot of this. Like I said, that book is a very great resource to start. I can share the link after the meeting. I don't have a free PDF version of it, but it's not that expensive. You can get it from Amazon. And it really helps build your psyche behind how to use AI, especially with kids. Because, and I'm saying this with affection as well as my experience, because I teach professionals as well how to use AI at work. There's a big difference between how those two batches go. Professionals are totally different. They want something completely different, and they're mostly looking to use AI at the work, which is very good because they already have a solid understanding of things. Now they just want to embrace AI. But the biggest challenge with kids is, and again, I'm saying this with affection and my own experience, it's very hard for them to get out of just blindly using the tool or giving prompts. I'm telling you, as a parent, that will be the one of the biggest challenge. And the best way is not to make them averse for using the tool because they find it easy. They now they can finish their homework in like minutes, which they used to do so long. It's better to make them a friend. And the I'll take a quote that I use for my professional students, professional batch people, where I tell them, treat AI as your college intern. So the and those people who have working experience, they would agree with me. When you get a nice college intern, he's bubbly, he's full of energy, he knows coding even much better than you because you've already been learning for the last 15 years or 10 years, and you've learned so many different things, not just coding. You've forgotten those concepts. Plus there are new things that have come in Python itself. I mean, when I started learning Python 15, 16 years ago, from where it is now, there are so many different um platforms that have come, and frameworks that have come. But again, the best way is, and that's how we work as a team, to move forward using it as an intern who knows a lot of things, who helps you when it comes to coding challenges, and you helps him learn more how to become a better engineer. And that is why this fusion is what we should look to inculcate in our kids. We try to do that a lot at school and through our Zoom sessions, but again, as parents, I think we can do a lot more. And that's what I always tell my parents of our community, that please be involved, because AI could be dangerous as well. And that's why I urge everybody to go through that book if they can. But if not, I mean, I can always share with the parents a smaller version of it, which I learned and I teach at the school as well. So, of course, we don't want somebody who's just, jumping around tutorials and stuff like that. But you should think for something for pursuing AI. Again, whether it's for college or not, again, that's a secondary aspect. My sincere suggestion is something which teaches how to think and understanding how to build system. Building is the emphasis. With, of course, you need Python, you need structured logic for this, and designing prompts responsibly is also a very important thing. Uh, it just reminded me, and I did not have prepared for this in the demo, but I'll just show you so that you can go and do this later in the thing. So go to my website, and this was the first one I did for students. Go to fun projects and do this digital citizenship tracker. So it'll take a while to load. It's a full blown LLM in it, and it does a lot of amazing stuff. This really takes the psyche of the high schoolers. You can put slangs there, like they use slangs. For example, this was also built for the school that I did myself. That if you ask any high schooler how are things, they give very weird answers, right? Oh, it's going. Now, what do you make out of it? It's going, could be going great, could be going bad, could be something. So that AI tool, Digital Citizenship Analyzer, basically does exactly the same thing. That it will take your words, synthesize them, and tell you on three categories. If it looks more a spam like, because those kids have to be taught how can somebody scam you. Like if they get an email and they just put a simple text from there, hey, you received a free iPhone, and that tool would immediately detect and say, hey, beware, this could be a spam. Same thing, the other example that I was giving, it will tell you that, hey, it's not very um, wise to say something like that to your friend. Some people like to say, hey, it's just a joke. Again, AI will break it and see joke is a nice word, hey, it's a nice word, and it might say this is okay. But again, that's where our human in the middle element come in the picture. That's what I teach them when I teach them how to use AI responsibly, because they cannot blindly follow everything that a tool or a GPT tells them. You have to use the human in the middle thing as very important aspect. So probably I did not, like I said, plan for it, but I'll rather jump to the other one. This is just a structured roadmap we do from all grades. I'm not trying to oversell anything here. I'm just trying to be a little proactive. So, like I said, this is the one which is really dear to my heart. I always say there are two kinds of kids. One who's very, very structured in approach and everything, and then there's a jumpy kind who's so excited to learn, and then his focus immediately shifts away. So if your kid, so the previous one was more of a structured and a step-by-step process kind of a thing, which gets the kids going. But what I'm going to show now is more on AI, heavy on AI, but more still structured, of course, using Python only. It's everything using Python, systematic and architecture driven. So this is where the curious minds learn how AI interacts with the real world. So just a word of caution, sometimes it doesn't work because, like I said, I have a messy setup here. My laptop, my phone, everything is connected. Let's just hope it works. So what I'm going to show you is the system. I'm running this on my laptop, showing you via Zoom. So there are many applications who are intermingling and using an LLM and using Python code. It's going to activate my iPhone's camera, which is sitting next to me. That is going to, so you're going to see two videos of me. One would be blurred, which is actually the demo. And all it's going to do is it's going to detect my eyeball movement. But everything has to be blurred because imagine you're driving a Tesla. You don't want it to make such big decisions for you by doing something like that. And let's say I dozed off or something like that, it's going to give me this alert, like wake up. Of course, this can be made a lot more tailor-made into an app, into so many things with the audio vibration and whatnot. But this is just a very simple demo for just that. And there you go. Like I was saying, iPhone not found. And this is always a problem because I have Zoom who's using my video. But let me try one more time.
You can switch off the videos you want, Ankit, and try it out for you.
Uh, I can try, but again, it's
That
going to
works.
be a bigger challenge. Let me see. Because Zoom, when the way Zoom works, and I know because I work in that technology, it basically hogs on all the resources. So it's currently hogging on all my laptop resources. That is the problem. Yeah, it's not letting my camera even fire up. Let me try one more time. I will try my second phone. Yep, phone not found, falling back to this. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna disconnect it and connect it again. But this is worth staying for, guys. I'm sure you guys gonna love it. And feel free to ask any questions. You can even unmute and ask. I don't mind if somebody has a question because I'm really looking at the chat. Let me see if it works now.
Yeah, there was a question in the meanwhile, Ankit. To what
Sure.
extent C, C++,
Mhm.
Java will come into picture with AI? Is it going to be only Python mostly down the line, developing AI, or other languages have an opportunity?
So that's a very interesting question, I must say. And again, I ask this question a lot. I would say going forward, looking at the way LLMs are, this layer of C++ versus Java versus Python will become more and more diminished, because I think ideally, in the ideal world, you can pick up any language and you can get the code. But I'll answer it in a different way. GPT will generate the code. So in that aspect, all three are same. But we should really look at from the perspective that what is easier for us to understand. Python is the most easy language ever. I mean, it's a fact that and most people don't even know this. This is how I start my professional class. That the very first version of Python was actually called C Python, and there's a reason for that, because Mr. Rossum, who was the inventor of Python, he was having a hard time understanding language C back in the 80s. That's when Python was born. So what he wanted was more of an English wrapper over C, and which is actually the fact that Python uses a lot of C inbuilt for uh, accessing hardware, which is what we're trying to do right now, accessing my iPhone camera. And it's more of a wrapper, which is more like you're talking in English. So that is one of the reasons why I personally choose Python over any of those languages. I know C++, I know Java, and I've started as a C++ guy, but Python makes the life super easy. Now, what is the benefit of that? Because when your GPT gets stuck or something like what is happening right now, because in real time production environment, things will happen. I mean, I had done this the same demo so many times in school as well, but I was worried that with the Zoom this could happen, and it happened right away. So you never know. So that's where you need to know. Now, if I've just blindly copied the code from ChatGPT, I won't know what is zero, what is one, what is two here, right? And that's what I've been trying to do to somehow make it work. This clearly tells me it's not reading my iPhone, because my iPhone is at number two and it says only devices 0 to 1. So that's why I unplugged my phone and tried to do it. So the debugging part becomes very easy in Python. And how you get this is basically, it's a very simple thing in Python, which is a list. So the whole idea of me saying this answer in such a big reason fashion is Python is very easy to learn compared to C++, Java. But if you have a kid who already knows C++ or Java, I won't throw it away. It's still very important skill, and it is still going to be there. But going forward, there is no one language that you can say that will rule. All it will boil down to is what you as a person, and that goes to professionals as well. I always say that goes for coders, it goes for everybody, that you as a person would feel more confident in doing. And I'll just take one more minute and extend this. So when we interview people, and most companies, when they interview for professionals as well, they don't let you just write the code in Python or one of the languages, even though the role might need you to be a Python developer. But what they say is they give you a tool which is on HackerRank, and then you can choose whatever language you are comfortable with. So I think that's where we are going with the LLMs as well, and pretty much there actually. So if your kid already knows one of those, it's still a good idea to learn Python, but the best advantage is he'll pick up Python very soon. I hope that kind of answered the question. I know I answered a lot more. Let me fix this. If there's any other question, please let me know. Oh, okay. I think it works now. Yep, there it is. So I'll have to turn my camera on. Oh, it went to the other screen. 1 second, let me bring it here. And I think I just demoed the reason why you need Python to know, because anybody can probably make this using GPT with a few things. So let me just sit straight. I'm going into the position where I'm driving a car, and you can see the program is right now working with the AI to capture my eye movement. It's definitely making it blur because it doesn't want to pick up all these things from my behind seat. It changes everything. So that was one of the most important thing. And let me be a little stable. There we go. And now if you decide to go sleeping, there you go. Alert, wake up. And then you're back. It should stop. It's very sensitive with the iPhone actually. There it is. And it even tells you you're way far. So if you're sleeping something like this, it will make it this. But right now it doesn't have any app they can make a sound kind of a thing. It's just a message. So these are the things when we teach students, they take those, and you should see the creativity they have. they make it in a beautiful app, and they make a lot of extra stuff which will be additional sounds, different kinds of sounds that I've not even heard. There was a guy who was we were doing this in the whole class as an activity, and he chose to add what is that bird? I'm forgetting the name of the bird. It's almost like the iPhone alarm tone, basically. That when you get something like this, an alert, it will basically alert like an iPhone alarm tone. So this is again one of the AI powered Python, you can say a computer vision problem. This is very different than the other one because here we're talking about real time. See, I'm just waving my hand and I'm doing this because here the most precision is has to come from real time. I don't want everybody to get dizzy, so let me close this. Okay. So that's the main idea here, and that's why it's so different than the previous example. This is for those inquisitive minds who are always, jumping around, and that's perfect for them to keep them engraved and engrossed and see how they can also build something really good with AI. So, what all they are learning while, in a sort of a playful environment and very relevant because they immediately start comparing it and they go back to the parents, and parents gave me this feedback the next day using the email, not even waiting for them to come and meet me, that whatever you did yesterday, they are so excited. They are constantly looking at my Tesla dashboard. What is it doing? Where are the sensors? So basically, it gives more curiosity for them, and rather than going back and using GPT again for non-productive purposes, rather they started using GPT. One guy came back and told me I figured out where the sensors are in the Tesla. So even I didn't knew it at that time. He told me two are in the front, two are right next to your dash, and then there are two at the back, and there's so many. So things like that, they are not only about teaching them something which is already there, but something about generating the curiosity level to the next level. Behavioral pattern detection for is what they say in the university. So these are the things that really help them build. Again, I keep saying the word build something using AI. And believe it or not, this is something which is called applied AI engineering in one of the universities. It's not about surveillance. Some people get confused that this could be related to surveillance, while it can be, because it's the similar concept. You have to detect a face and whatnot. But this is about building an intelligent system, because the intelligence here is not detecting the face. The intelligence here is using Python and the relevant AI model to detect when you're actually dozing off, because that's when the alert has to go. So again, like I said, real-time data processing is the most important thing. And just to conclude, that is what I want to say, that that is how, one second, let me close this. There we go. Oh, this is also back. So I'm not going to demo this right now, but I really ask you guys to do this later and maybe have your uh, kids do it, because this really gives us. So let's take an example of something like this: respectful but don't share. So, kids do this. Let's not share that photo. It could hurt feelings. And this is the feedback coming right from the LLM. Is it toxic? Zero. Is it scam? Of course, it's not scam, because all they're saying is let's not share that photo. It could hurt their feelings. But see, here it did not do well. It is a bit toxic. And this is what I was explaining. And then we explained the kids that sometimes you could be using something disrespectful, and AI is just a machine. That's what it says here. It says here. These are always needing human judgment. This is how I teach the ethics and the responsible class. This is not being responsible, because why is AI not being responsible here? Is it doesn't have those emotions. It doesn't understand. All it does it, and that's how I teach the class as well. It breaks these words, makes the tokens accordingly, figure out what's going on. And if you look at this, other than hurt word, there is no negative word. And hurt is not really toxic unless it is used like that. And LLMs have this, that's how they're built, that they always work on the next probabilistic word. That's how they work actually. That's the real engineering. So hurt there is not as bad as I will hurt you. That's a much different word for an LLM. But that is exactly where we as humans and kids as human need to understand there is a barrier. AI can only do so much. It's not the best. You always need human judgment for it. So that is how, and I would highly recommend. And you can also use your own. For example, you got an email which says you have won an iPhone. Is it safe? something like that. So instead of trying a preset, you can do that and click analyze and see it says scam likelihood, good effort. But it is a scam, as you can explain clearly, right? Because it is just breaking every word. Email is safe. You want an iPhone, probably you did something and you want an iPhone, and you're just asking, is it safe? So not all prompts, this is also going to the prompt, this is also going to GPT only, or I don't remember which model I used back then. um, but we have to teach children that AI is not everything. It's not something we can blindly rely on. We should always use our own judgment, and we should use these tools to build stuff rather than um, just blindly use it. And if you're wondering how to do it, just go to my website, thinkpythonai.com, go to fun projects. There are two fun projects. This is also something which they like. You can directly go here, and this is the one. It will take a while because it's a very heavy code sitting in the cloud environment. And right now it came up very fast, but in real time it won't. It will take some time for you guys when you do it the first time. All right, with that, I'll quickly share. This is on a very high level what we do. There is no I mean, the idea for this is more of a webinar teaching you guys as parents what you can do for your students. But this is just in a nutshell how we plan it, how we do it. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it here and ask if you have any questions. You can put in the chat. Let me open the chat again.
All right.
That really answered my question. Welcome, Maidili. I'm
Thank
happy it did. Sure,
thank you, Ankit. This is a super helpful session. Again,
sure.
uh, Ankit has shared the details of their company that is offering different levels of programs for the high school students. And with that said, we would like to conclude this particular webinar. Thank you everyone for joining. I just shared the link to the WhatsApp community for GradAchiever itself. This is the community where we have a lot that gets shared. And if you guys are interested to hear more from Think AI, maybe a hands-on working session for your students, we'll be happy to partner with Ankit and bring the valuable session for you all. So looks like Maithili has another question. Go for it.
Sure. Yeah, go
You can
for it.
unmute and ask it.
Yeah, that would be better. I ask all the my students as well. That gives you a chance to talk.
Oh, her
Do you
question.
guide undergrads too? Yes. So, like I was saying, right, I have very different approach. I have very different classes. I hope my screen is visible, right? There was somewhere, I think.
It is visible. Yep.
Yeah, this one. So grades 4 to actually it's really borderline 9. Only some people just reach to us when their kids are at ninth grade, and and these are grades, not years. We don't teach anybody below 4, although I'm trying my son to get to it, but it's very difficult. Trust me, he's 7-year old, he's in grade 1. But yeah, grade 4 to 8 is what we talk more on this perspective. Again, we break it up. 4 to 7 is one, and sometimes 7 to 9 is different. So
Ankit,
based on,
yeah,
sorry.
sorry to interrupt you. The question here was, do you guide
Oh,
undergraduate
undergrad.
students
Yes,
too?
sorry, my bad.
More
Yes, yes, yes.
higher
So
level.
yes, I thought somehow this. Yes, but very true. So 9 to 12 is what I was talking about in this. Then there are other places where we do even college grads, the undergrads, where we are coming to. That is a completely different batch. I did that one for Canada. Forgot the university name. That was at Toronto some university in Toronto. But the answer is yes. Of course, we do that. And that was only for Python, not for AI. But if there's any need for Python and AI, we can definitely do that. I was not in the zone. I was in the zone of students, so I went undergrad as that.
But
Yeah,
again, thank you, team. Again, there are
sure.
WhatsApp groups shared for thinkpythonai.com and also for GradAchiever. Join them. Let's grow together is the only word
Yes, absolutely.
I can conclude here. But again, we would love to have you guys spread the word of GradAchiever. Like I would like to emphasize that it's a free platform, and the intent here is to create a community in making some significant impact to the high school students and parents in their long road ahead. With that said, we'll conclude for the day. Again, the resources
Mm.
are available for you guys to connect, contact, and keep this continued. And on GradAchiever WhatsApp group itself, we'll run a poll to see if there is any interest for you guys to educate further in terms of be it Python or AI. So let's stay connected, team. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Kavita, and thank you,
everyone.
Sylvie, man. Bye, everyone.